Almond fingers, Mahesh. We have to cut fingers. Is there a pizza cutter? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chef Mahesh.
Yeah, very good morning, Chef Bala.
Yep. Good morning from the Faculty of Hotel Management and Culinary Arts, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, deemed to be University, Maduravoyal, Chennai. Today, this morning, we are again here to do a couple of bakery products. Today, we thought we'll do some couple of cookies for the demonstration. These are all two basic cookies, butter-based cookies, which we want to do it on the tabletop and cut it or mold it just on the table in an easy manner and simply bake it off. One is the weekender cookie and the other one is almond fingers. So the weekender cookie is nothing but crunchy, sugar-based, nutty, dry fruit-based oats and other crunchy content-based cookies. And almond fingers, as the name indicates, we'll have a lot of almonds in it. And that's that. And Chef Mahesh, I think we can start with your recipe first and then I'll go with mine. And I think the ovens are preset. And yes, Chef Mahesh, the table is yours.
Okay, yeah, good morning all. Okay, yeah, this is Mahesh here. Yeah, today we start with the almond finger cookies. Okay, for almond finger cookies, we require like 250 gram of maybe like French butter. If you are using the unsalted butter, we'll be adding a pinch of salt into that. Okay, so the recipes go like this. No, we have like okay, so what we do is we have a planetary mixer, and for cookies, when we talk about the creaming method, we use the paddle. Okay, see here we add like 200 grams of French butter, you know, that unsalted butter. Okay, along with that, we add like 100 gram of icing sugar and like 25 gram of sugar granules. If you have brown sugar or the demerara sugar, you can go for that. Okay, being a French butter, we add like a pinch of salt along with it. Then we have the vanilla extract, which goes along with the stuff. So now what we do is, we cream the entire stuff in a planetary mixer with the help of a paddle. It's all a very simple process. It's again, whenever we talk about the cookies, it's all again depends on that. See, if we want, we can replace this refined flour with maybe like whole wheat flour or the atta, whatever you call it as. Then if you want like millet based, like when you talk about the millet flour, maybe rye, now you can replace the refined flour with that. Then again we have, this is like 300 grams of refined flour, and we have 100 grams of like sliced almonds. That maybe you can crush it, maybe like you can chop it. It's all up to you. So once it is creamed well, so since we do as a creaming method, what we do is we just scrape the sides at the bottom, since I don't want any lumps of the icing sugar to be like stuck at the bottom. And if you want the cookies to be very crunchy, maybe you can reduce the quantity of butter and you can add like egg yolk or egg, it's again depends on that. And when we talk about the vegetarian, maybe like you can go with maybe like 25 to 30 ml of milk along with that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I add the almonds along with the flour. I combine this all together. Okay, once it's all blended nicely, we add the dry ingredients along with that. And it's all again up to you, whether if you want to add like baking powder, it will be fine. But here I don't add any baking powder in this. So since we talk about the almond fingers, I don't want that to be very aerated, so I don't add the baking powder and the egg, So it's basically, it's like we cream the butter, icing sugar and the sugar granules. Along with that, we add like vanilla extract, a pinch of salt. Then we add the refined flour and the almond, which is like folded along with that.
Chef, I think there is also other options, like the size of the almonds can be either reduced or You know,
Yeah,
can we
yeah,
do
it's-
something
yeah,
with
sure,
grist or some almond powder or something
Yeah,
like
it's all up to the, sure. For example, see, whenever we talk about the almond, see, generally people look into the chunks of almond. That can be powdered and we can be added along the flour. No, it's all our call, another. It's all up how we decide. So, but when we talk about the chunks, you feel the bits of almond,
Bites.
roasted bites of almond.
the
when
bite will be good.
So, but when we talk about the almond flour, we don't feel it, only for that reason. Another. So, generally what we do is we make the dough, and I just want this to be set in the chiller for maybe like 10-15 minutes. I just want to make it like, cold. So, being a almond finger cookies, maybe like you can see the dough, it's very, it's not very soft, so it is ready to serve another. Like we can, the consistency is very firm. What we do is, we can, use at the same time, that
dusting.
and if it's, if you set in the chiller, maybe for 10-15 minutes you can, then again you can remove from the chiller and you can roll it, or if you want, maybe straight away you can roll it and you can cut into some strips and you can add it. Okay, it's all up to us, then. But being like live, I just don't want to make it in the chiller. I don't want to put that in the chiller. Generally, what we do is, see the texture of the dough, that it shouldn't be very soft. Okay, so now we have a rolling pin. But whenever you do like a large quantity, what we do is, we can use the maybe like dough sheet for rolling. But when we are in a smaller scales, we just okay, and we have a pizza cutter, which is with the help of that, maybe like you can cut into very small strips. No, this is very, it's all, again, it depends on that. Maybe if you have used the almond flour, you won't be able to find these chunks. It don't. You can have a exact shape of the almond finger cookies. But when we add these chunks of almond or the chopped almonds, maybe you may find the shape of the cookies different. And again, the size of the cookies may vary. Maybe if you want to make it smaller, it's fine, or if you want to make it long. So once it is baked, maybe you can dip the almond cookies at one side with chocolates. It's all again up to us, Then. So what we do is we just arrange the cookies on the tray. And whenever we talk about the cookies, basically we bake at like 170, 180 degrees Celsius. This dough can be, that once it is baked, one side it can be coated with white chocolate, and maybe the other side you can coat with like dark chocolate. Now just for the presentation. But here what we do is we just bake it and we just show it like that. Okay, this process continue for whatever the dough you have it. And if you want, for example, if you want some almond flakes, what we do is we just give a milk wash on top of it, and we can sprinkle some almond flakes on top of it, and we can bake it. It's again up to us to take a call. Okay, this generally it takes like 12 to 15 minutes at 170 degrees Celsius. Okay, I think the oven is set for baking.
Yeah, I think the shape is totally is our imagination.
Yeah, chef. Thank you, Chef Bala. Thank you so much. Okay, I just quickly I'll just clean up this place. Yeah, once the oven is preheated, we just bake it for.
Is the oven ready?
No, chef.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
getting preheated. I'll just clean up the table. So, chef, I think just give me a couple of minutes. I'll just clean this table. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, now the oven is preheated, and now you know that we just bake it. No, I had just set the temperature at like 165, 170 degrees Celsius for maybe like 15 minutes, and now it goes for baking.
Fantastic.
Okay,
fantastic.
yeah, chef. I think while it's baking, we'll do the next cookies.
Yep. I think we'll get to do the other recipe of the day. Okay, cool. So this is a weekender cookies. So I thought this is one of my favorite cookies because it will have a lot of nuts and very crunchy feel, along with raisins and flavor of vanilla and things like that. We can also add a pinch of cinnamon to give extra flavor. So here is the recipe. The recipe calls for 250 gram of flour, 130 grams of unsalted butter, 200 grams of icing sugar, 50 grams of grain sugar, 30 grams of desiccated coconut, 30 grams of chopped raisin, which I have just covered or dusted with some flour so that it doesn't stick together. Then 40 grams of cashew nut and 40 grams of oats, 5 ml of vanilla, 5 grams or a pinch of salt, and then 3 grams of yolk and egg yolk. So basically that's that, and basically we are going to cream together. This sugar will be finally added just to give the grist of sugar. We are going to cream together the butter and icing sugar first, and then we are going to add the yolk so that the sugar get dissolved, and it also acts as a very nice binding agent along with some little salt. And then the flour will be incorporated with other dry ingredients, and we will finally mix them together. So here I will keep it simple. I'm going to add the vanilla to the yolk so that it is always moist and the yolk doesn't get dried up. That is one thing you need to keep noting it. And then I'm going to add the baking powder to the flour and desiccated coconut to the flour, and then oats to the flour, and that's that. These two things and sugar we will add it at last. That is one thing. Okay, so I'm going to add the butter first. Yeah. I think the summer has begun. Kindly excuse me. Okay. Okay. So icing sugar and butter. Butter has to be soft so that it's more convenient. And then let's start with a pinch of salt into the recipe. If you are using a salted butter, it's totally fine. You can go ahead as such. Okay.
Chef, just I have some doubt on it.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever we talk about cookies, is it mandatory that we should go for icing sugar?
I think it also depends on the cookies as well. We can also say, for instance, this recipe, we can also replace 50% of our icing sugar with nice soft packed brown sugar. That is also fine. These are butter based cookies. There are sugar based cookies and various cookies formats. So basically, so we have just creamed together. If you are using brown sugar, we add the brown sugar. Now if you want to cream the grains of sugar along with fat and some moisture like yolk, you need to add it prior. Some recipe might call for grain sugar in the beginning. Probably they don't want the sugar to be completely dissolved at the end of the cookie. So we are also going to add this grains of sugar at the end so that it doesn't dissolve and gives a very, very crunchy, sharp, crunchy texture. And all these raisins and cashew and the sugar along with the desiccated coconut, it is going to give a fantastic texture to our cookies. So I've added our yolk and vanilla together.
Again, yeah, we talk about the sugar granules, but whenever we make the cookies with sugar granules, the time consumption will be more.
Yep.
Yeah. Am I right, Chef?
Yeah. I think if you want to dissolve the sugar, I think you need to beat it a lot or cream it a lot. I think cookies, most of the recipes calls for either castor sugar or a soft crack sugar or fine grain sugar as much as possible. So now I have just added everything. I'm going to give a nice scrap so that nothing is undissolved or unblended.
Yeah, but being a very small quantity, no, I think the bowl is.
Yep. Okay. Now I think it's perfect. So now it's time to add the final ingredients. It's very simple. You're going to add all the dry ingredients together.
Shall we combine all these together along with the sugar?
Yeah, I think we can do it because anyway we're going to add these things together. So we can drop it in one go. Raisins, I don't want it to be sticky, so I've just dusted some flour so that it is not sticking to one another, and I've chopped it so that it is evenly spread throughout the cookies basically. So yeah, so we'll add other dry ingredients together
along with little bit of sugar granules.
Yeah, so let's give another one nice scrap. So especially whenever you use a cookie dough or a heavy dough such as this, make sure that you keep your machine as comfortable as possible, because you should not overload a machine like this. This is a tabletop planetary mixture, so it is not like a completely heavy duty one. So make sure that it is not overloaded. Make sure you handle it right and comfortable. Always increase the speed from low to high. That is more advisable rather than going to way too high, which might overload your either belt or the clutch inside your machine. There are a lot of domestic machines available in the market. This is one that is little sturdier than above all those things, and there are other brands which also is more comfortable for domestic and quite economic for your purchase at home, or even students can go for it at home if they want to really try baking. So the bowl is quite clean and the blend is quite clean. Yeah, so that's that. So the dough is ready. So all we have to do now is nicely roll it into small roundels, and let's give a press and simply bake it off.
Chef, can I help you?
Yeah, with pleasure, with pleasure. Whenever this rolling the cookies comes, it's always most case scenario.
Yeah, all the trainees generally we do
in
that.
hotels and restaurants and bakery, we used to call the trainees or junior staffs to roll and things like that. Just keep rolling, chef. Let me just wipe my face and come back, please.
Yeah, see, since we are going to press with the fork on top of the cookie, so we don't press it. We just we roll the dough and we just leave it on the tray. Once all set, what we do is we press it and we put a thumb portion of the fork on top of it, and we
Thank you,
bake
Chef
it
Mahesh.
at like 170. Generally, all the cookies we bake at 160-70 degrees Celsius for like 12-15 minutes. Here again we do the same process, so as chef said, that see, when we add some sugar granules at the last, I can feel the sugar granules over here.
Yep.
And
Yep.
while baking, after baking also, you can feel the crunchiness of the sugar in the cookies.
Yep. And this recipe is a kind of a high flour recipe. Doesn't shift its shape much.
Yeah, that's right.
If you could see, it is already harder. Some cookies are very melting, and this may not melt a lot, but it will fetch a nice forkable consistency on top, and it could be baked into a nice decent cookies.
Since we add desiccated coconut along with that, we added roasted oats into that.
Yeah.
So it becomes a bit harder than the creamy cookies, which may change its shape. That when we talk about the piping cookies, it will be really firm.
Well, the other dough, I think we have baked the other part. Okay, anyway.
This again, chef, what will be the baking time for this, chef? Maybe like 15-17 minutes, or how do we?
If you are going to go for this particular size, it's like 75% of a decent good lime size. This might take up to maybe 17 to 20 minutes to bake. It again depends. If you are going to roll it smaller, I think it might fetch a lot extra time. And
Chef, can you please tell me what cookies?
so basically, in order to save time and kind of display purpose, we have already baked these cookies so that we reserved some time to discuss things. And this is the final product of this cookies that I would like to display. It is again a little warm now. The cookies in hot state, it will be a little soft. It will not have a crunchy texture. This cookies is the finished product of what we are basically rolling here.
Chef, as you said, for the cookies, we add like the raisins and the oats. If you don't chop the raisins, what happens is this is all chopped raisins, still it puff up on top, that. But if you put the whole raisin into that, it will, you can see the burnt texture of the oats.
Yeah, I think this one tray is good enough. I think we.
Yes, chef. Yeah. Okay, this is chef. Maybe you can do the.
Let's give a press with a fork, so that.
And chef, and certain cookies I had seen it, that they just make it and they give some milk wash or egg wash on top of it, and they sprinkle some maybe like colored, maybe.
So
maybe flakes
I
of
think cookies are like breads. There is thousands and thousands of variants, and every country, it's all about the flour, sugar, and the fat. It's the proportions, it's the flavors, it's the consistency of the cookies, or finishing the cookies. Or we can add extra flour, some other flour.
Yes, chef. As you said,
whole wheat flour.
When we talk about the rolling cookies, maybe the dough should be firmer compared to the piping cookies. Piping cookies, generally we pipe on the cookie or piping bag, it should be soft.
Yeah, piping cookies calls for a little extra egg and a little less of flour, so that it is in a piping consistency. This is a kind of rolling cookies. We have got we can use even cookie cutter if there is no extra texture added to the cookie dough. If there is an extra texture, probably the cookie cutter machine may struggle. Not all cookie cutter fits for any content inside, and it is also for a volumetric production. Like say plain butter cookies or plain salted cookies or kind of flavored cookies, we can use for, we can go for a cookie cutter.
Chef, I do agree with all those things. But see, whenever we talk about now, people are coming into millet-based products. See, for example, if I want to make some millet-based, maybe like dry cake, maybe as you make today as a cookies, is there any proportion of millet which should be varied from the refined flour? And for example, you had added like 250 gram of flour or what X number of X amount of refined flour over there. What will be the proportion of like now millet or maybe the whole wheat flour, what we call, whatever you call as the atta?
Yeah, it again depends on the millet. If the biological nature of the flour is quite similar to the refined flour, we can obviously go for the same recipe. Sometimes certain millets doesn't have gluten or protein or anything at all, then we should call for a little extra millet volume.
Okay, along with the millet, can we add some refined flour just to bind it? That
Yes, I think it's totally our imagination. I think we can definitely go with some addition. We can even use our interesting rice, age-old heritage and vintage rices like
red rice,
black rice and things like that. We can use that along with whole wheat and things like that.
Okay, Chef, I think our
almond fingers are almost
not almost, it's ready over
perfect.
here.
It's perfectly done.
Yeah, it's ready over here. And Chef,
I
by the
think
way, can we load that?
Yeah, I think we should load it.
Thank you, Chef. Yep. Okay, again I had set the same temperature at 170. I just made it for 15 minutes.
Yep.
If required, maybe like I think Chef, we can increase the timing of that. See, as I told you, that whenever we put some nuts and when we roll it, you can see some raisin bubbling up,
popping out and things.
And when we talk about some nuts, you don't get into a proper shape unless and until we make it round, we get into a proper shape. But when we cut into the strips, when you flatten the dough and when you cut into the strips, maybe like you get
because of the contents of the cookies, of course, shaping it might be a little challenge, but the taste wouldn't make the difference.
Yeah, but Chef, no, so only for that reason, what we do is, see, we make the dough, we just chill it in the chiller. We could maybe like 30-40 minutes. Once it is set, so it will be...
because at that moment, I think the cookie dough and the nuts will have the same consistency to cut. Perfect,
you are right. You are exactly right.
We can even roll that into a log nicely and slice it into small roundels, and I think we can bake it.
Definitely, Chef. Yeah, like biscotti, whatever we call it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should do biscotti
maybe
very soon.
For sure, we will do that, Chef. But since that it's a very long process, we make a log, we bake it. Then again we freeze it, then we slice it, and again we bake it. It's when we talk about the biscotti, it's again we twice bake it. Yes.
Biscotti is basically, I think we should discuss that when we do biscotti.
For sure we'll do that. Okay, Chef, this almond fingers are being hot. Why don't we try with your?
I think now I think we can taste our weekender cookie since it is cooled down a little bit, and I think we can taste the weekender cookies.
Oh, Chef, it's generally it's all evenly colored,
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think it's still warm. Cookies get the complete crunchiness when it is totally at room temperature. Since this is just baked a batch before we just started this session.
I just placed the cookie over here.
Because the hot tray and this is a cool tray.
So just we let these cookies be cooled down. So we'll.
I think the cookie will have a lot of texture into it. The sugar, the coconut, the raisins, the oats, and the cashew nuts. I think we should taste it, please.
Sure. Really, it's very crunchy. That I can feel the roasted almonds. And the flavor of the desiccated coconut into that. Instead of cinnamon powder, it's all up to us. That if you want to add, we can add dry ginger powder. Maybe some nutmeg powder. It's all up to our call.
The flavoring is your call. The one which we started baking, it doesn't have a cinnamon powder, which I would like to keep it plain and simple with the scent of vanilla and a lot of these nuts and raisins. It's totally your call. Even you can add some lime rind or some dried mint leaves,
maybe some candied orange, maybe candied lemon. It's all up to us. So you feel the bitterness and the sweetness in the cookies. Like when we talk about the plum cakes, you feel that the orange peel, maybe orange rind, candied orange, candied lemon, the dry ginger peel.
For hotels and a hotel with a room division, this is a fantastic cookies that could be kept as amenities. We normally keep it in hotels as a room amenity.
Yeah, definitely. Sir,
As
definitely.
a complimentary cookies, and this goes well with a good high tea or the tea time. It's a fantastic product that we should recommend.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And baking powder is also your call. We can either do it or we don't have to add baking powder. Since cookies is a cookies which has got enough ingredient to make it crunchy. Shape shifting will happen when we add a little bit of baking powder to the
Yeah,
recipe.
for sure, chef. Yeah, you can feel the
Yep.
lightness, maybe the maybe like you can feel the texture into the cookies when we add some baking powder into that. Okay, and chef, when we talk about these almond fingers, you know, see once it is baked, maybe just for maybe the presentation, maybe like one side we can coat with dark chocolates.
Yep.
And we can present it. It's all
Or
again up
icing
to-
sugar.
Yeah, so dust some icing sugar and you can serve it. No, it's all up to us.
I think we should try your.
Chef, will you try our, not your chef?
Yeah, that's nice and crunchy. Fantastic. That's very nice and crunchy already.
Yeah, you took
Since,
only.
yeah, it's a very thin cookies.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it has got the crunchy texture already. Oh, fantastic. That's a lot of almonds and the cookies is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, you can feel the roasted almonds in the cookies.
Yeah.
And if you require, maybe you can, yeah, as we told earlier, you can maybe like brush with milk and you can sprinkle some almond flakes on top of it and still you can bake it. It's all again up to us.
The almonds are well roasted. The scent of the almond is and the butter scent is fantastic.
Yes, 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 yes. So how we do this almond finger is like with like 250 gram of French butter. We call it unsalted butter. Along with that, we add like 100 gram of icing sugar with 25 gram of sugar granules. Then we add a pinch of salt. Being French butter, we add a pinch of salt and vanilla extract. You know that it's up to us. Maybe like 5 ml, 10 ml. And we add like 300 gram of refined flour. And we add like 100 gram of maybe like chopped almonds with that, which is baked at 170 degrees Celsius for maybe like 15 minutes, you know that. And it's once it is cooled down, it's up to us to take a call, you know, whether you want to dip some chocolate and serve it, maybe like sprinkle some icing sugar and serve it. It's all up to us.
Yep.
You know, it's a very thin, flat cookies with very good scented flavors of almonds and the butter into that, you know that. So that's what we talk about the almond finger. Chef, you can go ahead with the recipe for the weekend cookies.
Yes, let me recap the recipe and the preparation for the weekender cookies. So this cookies calls for 130 grams of unsalted butter along with 200 grams of icing sugar that we are going to cream it first, and then we are going to add 1 egg yolk and 5 ml of vanilla to it, and a pinch of salt, which is going to be creamed together nice and well. And then we are going to add the dry ingredients such as coconut, desiccated coconut, that is 40 grams of desiccated coconut, and the recipe also calls for 40 grams of oats and 30 grams of raisins and 30 grams of cashew nuts. This content can also be varied a little bit, that's totally your call, but the key ingredients such as butter, flour and sugar is prime. We are also going to keep 50 grams of grain sugar on reserve, which we are going to add at the end. And once this flour and other dry ingredients are folded, we are going to add the cashew nut, raisins and oats and other grain sugar along with it, and we are going to mix it nicely and roll it into small roundels and press it with a fork, and we are going to bake it at 175 degree centigrade. So that's that, and I think the other batch is getting baked, and I think it might
take another 7 more minutes, chef. 7 more minutes.
7 more minutes, and I think it's a great day, and we have made some interesting products today, and we look for to do some more
In future.
interesting. Yep.
Yeah.
We should try some interesting biscotti next time, and along with some other products.
Yeah, for sure, chef. Yeah, we'll do something.
I think we should. We'll catch up next Friday, and keep following us and keep watching us. These are all some basic stuffs which we are gonna showcase here, and we are not going to complicate the recipes and make the beginners a little uncomfortable. So I think this is a good start, and please go ahead, try these products at home or at students. Please do try this, and we would like to hear from you on the comments, and you can reach us whenever you have some clarifications. Thank you, thanks a lot, and Chef Mahesh, it's a fantastic day.
Thank you so much, Chef Bala. Thank you for your presence over here. We enjoyed the
baking
products,
session.
baking session over here, and we do. Please watch our channel. Maybe as Chef Bala said, please comment any queries. Please post it, so at least we will revert for the post. Please do watch, and thank you so much for watching.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me finish it with another almond cookies. It's fantastic. Thank you. See you again.